The cracked wall clock in the small Detroit apartment ticked so loudly that it filled the silence like a stubborn reminder of how slow time could be when your heart was heavy. The air smelled faintly of burnt onions and detergent. Mrs. Brooks sat at the dining table, scrolling through her old phone, while the TV hummed softly in the background, a rerun of a talk show about successful entrepreneurs. "Jamal got promoted again," she said suddenly, pride lighting up her tired eyes. "That boy's going places. God is really blessing him." "That's great, Ma," Maya replied quietly, rinsing a stack of dishes in the sink. The warm water did little to wash away the ache in her chest. "I helped 3 of my students finish their mural today. They're really improving." Her mother didn't even look up. "Maya, you still doing that art thing? I thought you said you were gonna find a proper job this year." Maya froze for a second. The sound of the faucet filled the gap where her mother's encouragement should have been. "It is a proper job, Ma. I teach kids." Mrs. Brooks interrupted, waving her hand. Teach. Art don't pay bills. You need something steady, like your brother. Be serious." Jamal smirked from the couch. "You can't expect folks to pay rent with crayons, sis." Tiffany giggled, tapping her freshly painted nails on her phone screen. Maya bit her lip. "You all don't understand. Art helps people. It's not just drawing. It's healing." "Sounds like excuses to me," Jamal muttered, stretching his legs. "Meanwhile, I just got a bonus." "Good for you," Maya whispered, turning back to the sink, her throat tightening. She tried to smile, but it broke before it reached her eyes. Later that night, after everyone had gone to bed, she sat on her small mattress under the flickering bulb. Her sketchpad rested on her lap, half-finished drawings of children smiling in colors her own life lacked. She whispered to herself, "How come the world can see beauty in what I do, but my own family only sees failure?" Tears slipped silently down her cheeks. The walls, old and peeling, seemed to whisper back, because some people only notice light once it leaves their house. Saturday mornings were Maya's escape from the heaviness of home. She always walked to the youth center on Jefferson Avenue with her backpack full of paintbrushes, sketch pads, and hope. The city air smelled of rain and exhaust, but inside that small center, the walls were alive, splashed with color and laughter. "Miss Maya, look what I painted," shouted little Jaden, waving a messy sheet of paper with blue streaks everywhere. She knelt beside him, grinning. "That's beautiful, Jaden. What does it mean to you?" "It's my mom," he said proudly. "She's happy now." Maya's heart softened. Then that's the best kind of art there is. The kids adored her. They called her Miss Sunshine because she always said something kind, even when life wasn't. Some of their parents waited by the door, smiling gratefully. One woman, Mrs. Thompson, said, "You're a blessing, honey. My daughter talks about you every day." Maya smiled. "I'm just glad they feel safe here." The center's director, old Mr. Roberts, often told her, "You got a gift, girl. Not just the art, the heart behind it. Don't lose that." But the glow faded when she got home. The moment she stepped through the door, her mother's voice hit her like a cold wave. "You're late again, Maya. You could have helped Tiffany clean the house instead of wasting time with other people's kids." "I wasn't wasting time, Ma," Maya said gently, setting down her bag. "Those kids look up to me. I'm teaching them something good." Mrs. Brooks folded her arms. "Teaching don't feed you. When you gonna get serious?" Maya's voice dropped. "Why do you always make me feel like nothing I do is enough?" Jamal chuckled from the living room without looking up from his phone. "Maybe because it ain't." For a moment, Maya just stood there, her chest tightening. She wanted to yell, to defend herself, but exhaustion replaced anger. Later that night, she lay in bed replaying the day, the smiles, the laughter, the tiny hands covered in paint. That was real appreciation, genuine love. She whispered to herself, they may not see it, but somebody does. Outside, thunder rumbled over Detroit, but in Maya's heart, there was a quiet light, small but unbreakable. The Brooks family dinner table had become a battlefield disguised with food. The smell of fried chicken filled the air, but so did the tension. The TV played softly in the background, showing smiling families on some cooking show, a cruel contrast to the cold silence in the room. Tiffany was the first to speak. I got accepted into nursing school, she announced proudly, tossing her curls over her shoulder. Mrs. Brooks' face lit up instantly. That's my baby girl. I told everyone you'd make something of yourself. Congrats, Tiff, Maya said sincerely, cutting her chicken into small, careful pieces. Her mother barely glanced at her. See, Tiffany's focused. She's not chasing childish dreams. Maya swallowed hard. Art isn't childish, Mom. It's my purpose. Jamal laughed loud. Purpose? You mean coloring books for broke kids? Tiffany giggled, but quickly hid it behind her glass. Maya's fork clattered against her plate. You know what hurts. You all talk about me like I'm some joke. But I've been helping kids stay off the streets. I've been using what I love to change lives. Mrs. Brooks waved her hand dismissively. Maya, you always get emotional. Not everyone's meant to succeed. You need to face reality. The words cut deeper than a knife. Not everyone's meant to succeed. Maya repeated softly. You mean not me, right? Because I'm not Jamal or Tiffany. Watch your tone, her mother snapped. I can't, Maya whispered, voice trembling. I can't keep pretending I don't hear how little you think of me. Jamal leaned back, smirking. Then stop talking about it and do something. The room went silent. Maya stood up, her chair scraping the floor. I will. Mrs. Brooks frowned. Where are you going? Somewhere I can breathe, she said, tears glistening in her eyes. Somewhere people don't make me feel like I'm a mistake. She rushed to her room, threw her clothes into 2 small suitcases, and picked up her paintbrushes, the only things that ever made her feel alive. At the door, Tiffany whispered, Maya, wait. Please don't. Maya looked back once, her voice breaking. I've spent years waiting for love in this house. But love never came. And with that, she stepped out into the night, the cold Detroit wind biting her face, yet somehow feeling freer than she ever had before. The Greyhound bus rumbled down the highway, carrying Maya away from Detroit's gray skies into the promise of Atlanta's warmth. Her head rested against the window, her reflection staring back. Tired eyes, messy braids, a hopeful heart. She whispered, Please let this be a new beginning. Atlanta greeted her with humidity and motion. Street vendors shouted near 5 Points, cars honked in endless rhythm, and the scent of roasted corn and street tacos filled the air. Maya rented a tiny room behind an old barber shop. The ceiling leaked when it rained, but it was hers, her peace. Days turned into weeks. She cleaned office buildings at dawn, worked as a cashier in the afternoon, and painted at night. Her wall soon filled with colors, faces of children, mothers, and dreamers she'd met along the waypoint one afternoon. She painted a mural on an abandoned wall beside a grocery store. The mural showed a black mother holding her child under sunlight bursting through storm clouds. A message of hope. She brushed the final stroke. A voice called from behind, deep and calm. You did that. Startled, she turned to see a tall man in a navy hoodie and glasses. Yes, she said shyly. Just trying to make this corner a little less sad. He smiled. Well, it worked. I'm Troy Daniels. I run a community youth foundation a few blocks away. We could use someone like you. Maya blinked. Me? I'm not that good. Don't say that, he said firmly. You've got purpose in your paint. Come by tomorrow. The next day, Maya walked into the foundation, a modest building filled with art supplies, laughter, and dreams. She spent the day teaching kids how to express their pain with color. By sunset, the room felt like family. Troy watched her quietly and said, "You ever think your pain is what fuels your gift?" Maya smiled softly. "Pain taught me compassion." He nodded. "Then don't run from it. Use it." That night, Maya stood before her mural under the streetlight. The wind blew gently, and for the first time in years, she whispered, "Maybe I'm finally where I belong." By 2025, Maya's murals colored Atlanta's gray walls with stories of hope. One huge mural, depicting a black mother holding her child amid golden light, went viral on TikTok. The caption read, "Art that heals." Radio stations invited her. Talk shows wanted interviews. "You really changed this city," Troy told her. Maya smiled. "It's not me. It's the kids. They're painting their future." Back in Detroit, Tiffany saw the viral video. "Mom, isn't that Maya?" Mrs. Brooks shrugged. "Anybody can paint." But later that night, she secretly replayed the clip. Her daughter looked radiant, confident, alive. Meanwhile, Maya stood before her finished mural, whispering, "Maybe I wasn't invisible after all." The ballroom in downtown Atlanta glowed with gold lights. Cameras flashed as Maya walked in wearing a sleek emerald gown. Troy whispered, "You ready?" "Not sure," she smiled nervously. When her name was called, National Youth Empowerment Award goes to Maya Brooks. The room erupted. She took the mic, voice shaking. "To the ones who were never believed in," she said, "you are not your family's opinions. You are your own masterpiece." The crowd stood clapping. Tears filled her eyes. Later, she sat alone on the hotel balcony, scrolling through hundreds of messages from strangers calling her an inspiration. She smiled bitterly. "Outsiders saw me before my own blood ever did." Her phone buzzed, a message from Tiffany, "Proud of you, sis." Maya whispered, "It's a start." Back in Detroit, the Brooks family watched the award replay on TV. Jamal frowned. "Damn, that's really Maya." Mrs. Brooks said softly, "She looks happy." Tiffany smiled. "She deserves it." The house fell silent. For the first time, they saw what they'd ignored, her strength, her glow, her purpose. A week later, a neighbor stopped Mrs. Brooks. "Your daughter is changing lives. You must be so proud." She forced a smile. "Yes, very proud." That night, she sat alone at the table staring at an old photo, Maya at 12, holding up her first painting. She whispered, "I didn't see you, baby. I really didn't." For the first time in years, tears rolled down her face. Maya returned to Detroit months later to lead a city mural project. Reporters followed her every move. At the ribbon cutting, she spotted her mother in the crowd, older, smaller somehow. Their eyes met. "Maya," Mrs. Brooks said quietly after the event, "you look good." "Thanks, Mom." They stood awkwardly until Maya sighed. "I wasn't sure you'd come." Mrs. Brooks' lips trembled. "I was wrong about you. I was jealous. You remind me of who I wanted to be." Tears filled Maya's eyes. "All I ever wanted was your support." "I know," her mother whispered. "And I'm sorry." They hugged, a long, trembling embrace years overdue. For the first time, Maya felt warmth, not from strangers, but from the woman who gave her life. Over the next weeks, Maya visited often. She painted with Tiffany, helped Jamal find direction, and talked with her mother about old wounds. One evening, as they drank tea on the porch, Mrs. Brooks confessed, "I lost myself after your father left. I didn't know how to love right." Maya held her hand. "We all break differently, Mom. But we can heal too. Will you forgive me?" "I already did." Jamal joined them, awkward but sincere. You proved me wrong, sis. I was insecure, not better. Maya chuckled. We all were. Let's move forward. They laughed softly as the sunset bathed their faces in orange light. For once, the Brooks family sat together, not divided by pride, but united by growth. 1 year later, the grand opening of the Brooks Art and Healing Foundation drew hundreds. Banners read, "Transforming pain into purpose." Troy smiled proudly beside her. Look what you've built. Maya grinned. What we built. Her mother cut the ribbon, tears streaming. You made this family proud, baby. In the lobby, Maya stared at a giant mural, her younger self painting under a dim bulb. She whispered, You made it. Later, during her speech, she said, To everyone who was never appreciated at home, remember, your value doesn't shrink because others can't see it. Keep shining until they notice the light they ignored. The audience rose, clapping. Maya's heart swelled with peace. For the first time, her family clapped the loudest.